What's good, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Deep 3 Podcast. I'm your host, Donald Smoot. Got the homies Isaac Gutierrez, Muhammad. Yo, I don't even know your last name, Muhammad. What is it?
You don't know my last name. Let's keep it like that.
That is Mojo99.
This man is so
exactly.
secretive.
99 is my last name. Mojo, Muhammad, 99. That's all you need to know.
I guess. Well, look, we got a whole bunch to get to today. We're gonna preview the Atlantic Division.
Really interesting division.
Exactly. We got the Brooklyn Nets in that one. Ben Simmons, James Harden on the Sixers.
Your Knicks.
Listen, we'll talk about that when we get there. They're already getting me pissed off. But we got all of that. We're going to be doing an all-time player draft. We got some more of your hot takes to get to. Got some player mashups. But let's start with the hot takes.
Yeah, for sure. Before we get into it, though, want to remind you guys, if you're watching on YouTube, drop a like, subscribe to see more of this. I know a lot of you guys are probably watching from shorts, so do us a favor and subscribe so you can see more of the long-form podcast. If you're listening on Spotify, give us a 5-star rating, follow, all that stuff. So let's get into the hot takes.
Let's do it.
So, as you guys know, if you've been watching the shorts, like I said, every week we react to your guys' hot takes, and we pick some of you from the comments. So normally we're going to be doing this at the end of every episode, but since I don't know how many of you guys know about it, we're going to do it right now.
Exactly.
First one. Yeah, let's get into it. Pixel Donkey says that SGA and Tyrese Halliburton are both going to be all-stars this year.
That's an L take.
SGA
That's an L take.
and Tyrese Halliburton.
Both of them.
Donovan Mitchell's in the Eastern Conference now, and I was on that train initially. Like, Tyrese Halliburton's going to be an all-star, but now that, Donovan's there, Darius Garland, there's just too many threats right now. I'm going to say L take, but it's not a fat L.
I agree. Yeah, I'm going to go L take. I think SGA could make it, but Tyrese is hard to imagine. He's going to be great, and I think one day will be an all-star, but not this year.
I think SGA makes that leap, right? Like, I think, and especially, it sucks
it's a popular
that he got,
pick.
Yeah, it sucks that he got hurt and he's gonna miss the start of training camp. But listen, the Thunder have absolutely nobody, and especially now the fact that like Chet's out for the entire year.
Oh yeah,
Shea's going crazy. Like he's done with all the losing. So I think Shea makes it. I think Tyrese sits out because like y'all said, there's just too many guys in the East that I got to put it over him.
Yeah,
exactly.
I'm really high on Tyrese, but maybe the next year after this one, that's when it's gonna make that leap for him.
Yeah, exactly. Someone like James Harden or something like that's gonna have to like take a mean dip. If he is who
James Harden's
is,
getting in off a name. He's gonna get in off a name.
He's still gonna be all-star caliber. Relax.
I'll save it. I'll save it for the preview. But again, like Harden. There's guys that are going to get in off of their name. And so, like, Tyrese is going to be one of those guys that's going to be, like, he's going to be on the first team all-snub list. Like, that's where he's going to be at. Facts. You know what I'm saying?
Real quick before we go to the next one, I forgot to say the TikTok intro. So, let's say it right now. I got another list of hot takes for you guys. Let me know if these are W takes or L takes. Now, that's out the way. Let's move on to number 2. Sahil says that Cleveland will make it further in the playoffs than the Nets.
That's an L take. That's an L take.
I don't know.
It is because they either are playing against each other, like to get to the Eastern Conference Finals, or they play each other in the Eastern Conference Finals. But I think that just the high end scoring of KD, like if not now that he has Ben Simmons to kind of do like all the defense and dirty work for him, and maybe take some of like the playmaking stuff off of his plate. If KD just has to say, like, hey, I just need to go out and get 30, he could do that in his sleep. I think that having him, he's the best player on the floor at basically, like, all times. He's going to take
basically against anybody.
Yeah, he's going to take them over the top.
For sure.
I want to say that Cleveland will go further, but, like, this is just the first year type thing. Now, if it was Evan Mobley, Donovan Mitchell, Darius Garland, and Jared Allen in their second or third year together, for sure, you know what I'm saying? But they're just way too all new together, and there's still minor question marks that I have about Cleveland. So it's going to be an L take for now.
I want to say that I have more faith in the Cavs, but like you said, Donovan, they might have to play against each other. That's pretty likely. And in that case, I'm going to pick the Nets, obviously.
Yeah, I just don't if we're talking, listen, we talked about this last time. I think like the Nets ceiling in the regular season and in the playoffs. If everything molds and Ben Simmons comes back and he's like the guy and he's just like some supercharged version of Draymond, if he's like the Brooklyn version of Draymond, there's not
best
a lot
team
of
in the NBA
teams.
potential.
That's what I'm saying. There's not a lot of teams
Mm-hmm.
that you could realistically put ahead of Brooklyn. So that's why I'm putting them ahead.
Got to be an L take.
Facts.
On to the next one. Pull up my handy dandy documents and
So organized.
scroll back to the top after that technical difficulty. Okay. So G Production says that LeBron is going to switch teams one more time in his career.
That's a W take. That's a W take. He's not staying with the Lakers. He's
I don't know. He re-upped again, even though right now they're going through crazy turmoil. It seems like he really wants to be in LA, really wants to be a Laker. At this point, he might just be ride or die for them.
No, I think right now he's like, listen, right now he's waiting for Bronny to get to the league, and he's like, if I'm gonna wait anywhere, I might as well just wait where I live the other 8 months of the year. Might as well live in Los Angeles. But if Bronny gets drafted to Indiana, he'll have no problem signing a 1-1 and renting a mansion out there.
It's nasty.
I know it is nasty, but like he'll have no problem renting an Airbnb for a year and chilling out there. So it's,
I love how you think LeBron James is going to be going off of Airbnb.
An Airbnb, LeBron James.
They said he's
hell
cheap.
nah.
They said he's cheap. They said him and
Not that cheap.
LeBron said that he still has commercials on his Pandora. He said that he doesn't pay for premium stuff at all. So like if it would save him $1 million, I bet you he would do it.
Yeah, you see, I don't think LeBron's gonna stay. I think LeBron's gonna change teams one more time for either a reason like that or, bro, the fairy tale that I have in my mind. Call
He's
me
not going to
LeBron
Atlanta.
sexual if you want. I don't give a hell no. I don't want him in Atlanta. I want him to go back.
Cap.
Listen, I feel like damn near. This is my. What do people call this? My dirty truth or something like that? I don't know what people call it, but
Guilty pleasure?
I low-key may be like more of a Braun fan than I am a Hawks fan. Oh my God, I can't believe I just said that. But dog, I think I just said that. And I want to see him go out the right way back home at Cleveland. And I think that like what NBA fan wouldn't want to see that, especially since they're lit as hell right now too.
Here.
Bro, if they get Braun, Jesus Christ, they're going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, no, bro. Braun in the middle of all that. They literally have no weaknesses. That team, Jared Allen, Evan Mobley, Braun, Donovan, and Derek. Oh my God! And all that is Braun will fit
They're not going to be able to pay all of them.
The Braun's gonna
maybe old man Braun wants to come on a minimum. I don't know.
Is that LeBron taking the minimum?
You just said he's cheap. Is he cheap or not?
Yeah, exactly.
Cheap means you don't want to spend money. He'll gladly take the money.
Facts.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go ahead. I'm gonna say L take as a Lakers fan because I want that to be true. But you're probably right with the Bronny thing. He's probably gonna leave.
Yeah. What's next?
All right, next one. Your boy A says that in 3 years, Scotty Barnes will be a top 10 player in the NBA.
That's a W take. I think Scotty Barnes has all the tools.
Top 10 is tough.
It is tough, but if you look at a lot of guys in the top 10, like there's at least two spots with Curry and LeBron where they're gonna start aging out, right? If you think that Dame or Kawhi are in there, in the next 3 years, those guys are gonna be at the very tail end of their career. So there's 4 to 5 spots that are opening up.
Yeah,
and
Kevin Durant too.
Exactly. And so Scotty Barnes is 6'8", 6'9". He could defend. He could do absolutely everything. If he starts getting lethal from outside, there's not really I don't think that the ceiling is that low for Scotty.
Yeah. I think maybe you're right because he's going to have that defensive versatility for sure with his size and he's going to have the playmaking, but I think we need to see a big shot making boost from him. He needs to develop more, like you said, an outside game with the off-the-dribble shooting, self-creation at the rim, all that type of stuff you need to be that type of top-tier player. He can definitely do it, but we still have to see that happen before we just assume it will.
That wouldn't be absolutely crazy for me to see because with how well he played offensively, that was like a major shocker. A lot of people were comparing him to fucking Draymond Green and shit like that when he was coming out of college. And obviously, his scoring is on a very good level, but he, like you said, Isaac, he needs to take another jump, another leap. But if we're being real, you said the question was in 10 years, right? Or 5 years?
3 years.
3
10 years would be nuts.
Oh, 3 years is kind of crazy. 3 years, I don't see that happening, bro. Right now, his competition is as of now, I'm only focusing on young players. Trae Young, Luka. Then there's guys like Anthony Edwards, John Morant, Zion Williamson. Bro, that tier, that's only 5. So Jason Tatum, then you can SGA. I just don't see it happening.
And then you start getting to Scotty Barnes' name at the end of the list. I'm not saying he's going to be one or anything like that. Again, I'm not saying Scotty Barnes is going to be the best player in the world, but he's going to be if and again, all of this depends on if he makes that jump. So we'll see this year. But if he does, and I think that he has the potential to do it, then yeah, I can see him being around that like 9 through 12 range and potentially higher.
That's a franchise
it's definitely
player type jump.
Hey, he might be a franchise player. I definitely think he's on the trajectory. It's too early to say he won't be. I'll say that.
Exactly.
So let's give him a W take just in case.
Yeah.
Just in case. I'm giving this man an L. Get the fuck out of my face with just in case.
It's the reigning rookie of the year.
I respect it. I'm a Scotty fan, but
this man hates Canadians.
No, you're not. You hate Scotty Barnes.
Nah.
That's funny. Okay, so next one. The Slayer says that Joel Embiid is a top 3 player currently.
That's wow, that's really tough.
It's hard.
He's right.
You could argue him anywhere from 3 to 7. Like Joel is in a really weird place where he's a back-to-back runner-up in MVP. So NBA media members have decided he's the second best player in the NBA 2 years in a row. But there's like 4 names you could easily say are better than him.
Here's the main one, right? Are you putting Steph at 3? Because if you're not putting Steph at 3, then Embiid is 3. But if you're putting Giannis and Jokic, there's KD, LeBron, Steph, Luka, like all those names could be above Joel, or none of them could be. I would have, I think my top 3 right now, I would have Giannis, Jokic, Steph, Embiid at 4, and then we're fighting with Bron, KD, and Luka for 5. That's fair. That's my top 5 right now.
I think I might have LeBron at 3, but either way, it's hard for me to put Joel there. But I understand if you do. So L, but understandable W.
Yeah, I'm not gonna look at you like you're fucking batshit crazy. I'm gonna give this a L take, but it's respectable. You know what I'm saying? You're not gonna get tackled with it.
It's a lowercase L, just a little bit of an L.
Exactly, lowercase L.
That's good. I like it.
Not a bad L, but it's a respectable L, gentleman's L, if you will.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, last one. Derek the Goat says that KD is top 10 all time.
That's an L take. Get that out of my face. He's not top 10.
Damn.
Not even gonna consider it.
No, he's not top 10.
I agree. I think Curry is like the 10th best player of all time right now, and I don't know if it's a hot take, but I'm putting Curry above KD, so KD can't make the cut.
That shouldn't be a hot take. Steph has always been better.
Agreed.
When it comes to this top 10 talk, bro, there's just so much that like goes into it. Like talent outside of it, he's not top 10. But even then, like talent inside of it, like I could see the argument for top 10 very clearly, but I'm gonna say no, he's not.
Yeah, people like to do the whole like he's top 10 most skilled of all time, which like sure, but I think we all agree that to be in the top 10 list, it's a mixture of career accomplishments with skill, with peak and all that. And some people just have a better career resume than him at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
Like Steph Curry.
Yeah, exactly, like Steph Curry.
Exactly.
But all right, that's all the hot takes I got. So I think we can move on to the division preview. Which team do you guys want to start with? Because there's a lot of interesting choices.
Should we just start? Let's start with the Knicks, and then we'll get to the good teams afterwards.
Damn! Whoa! He sounds like he wanted to get it over with and just take the bad medicine, bro. Holy shit!
100%.
That's what it is.
Like, they are like, listen, they're in New York, but they are the least interesting team in the entire division. So like, if we can just make this short, Julius Randle is still bad. The backcourt fit of Brunson and Barrett is going to be interesting.
Damn.
But I do think that they kind of made the right decision in terms of like not mortgaging the future to get.
Okay. Let's slow down. You're just shitting out every time.
Yeah,
right?
he's trying to get it over with for real, bro.
All my takes out.
Listen,
I'm
no.
all my takes out.
Let's talk about the Knicks.
Minutes.
I get the jokes. You hate them. You're a Knicks fan,
them, bro.
But there is some interesting things to talk about. First and foremost, what is your guys' prediction for how good of a team they're going to be?
Borderline playing team.
Borderline playing team. So like 39 wins ish.
Yeah, 10 wins.
Okay, I agree.
Right around there.
So they're not a good
Sounds
team,
about right.
but we should talk about why. What are I'm sure as a Knicks fan, you're well aware of why. What are the elements that make them so fucking mid?
Their roster is full of mid, and like it's
bad players.
Yeah, and so like it obviously goes like beyond that. But when your star is Julius Randle, and the difference that we saw from 2020 Julius Randle to 2021 Julius Randle, offensively there was a huge drop. Defensively, team wise, there was a huge drop, and then now you're coming in to this season with Brunson and Barrett, as your backcourt. You're a little bit undersized in that area, and there's not like you bring in Brunson to help the creation, but there's still not a lot of like great offensive creation on there, and defensively, it's not what it was 2 years ago, and so the ceiling for a team that doesn't have a lot of offensive creation is just not high. And
yeah,
so
that's the thing.
kind of where you are.
Like you said, that 1 year they were good is because their defense was just playing above their heads. And for some reason, a team led by Julius Randle was a great defensive unit, which is like obviously not sustainable as his shooting wasn't. And like you said, their offensive creation is pitiful. They were the lowest in the league last year in assist percentage, and they were 29th in shooting at the rim and 27th as shooting from mid-range. All in all, they just weren't good at offense. Like every statistical category you look at, they were in the bottom 10 in everything. And that's going to happen when you have nobody in your team that can create a shot.
Knicks' only hope. I don't know if y'all heard the news, but Derrick Rose coming back healthier than ever. That man said either in an interview or something like that, or some Twitter post said that, this man is back at 195. That's his rookie of the year weight. You know what I'm
Was
saying?
he overweight?
So, hey,
Was he bigger than that?
I wouldn't say he was over. He was definitely bigger than that, but I wouldn't say he was overweight. A little bit bulkier for sure. It just happens naturally over time. But
Gotcha.
Listen,
one thing I will
go ahead. Go ahead, Isaac.
Okay. One thing I will say is, like we said, their biggest issue was they have no shot creators and in turn have shitty offense that just devolves into really bad isolation attempts from people who aren't good at it. Because of that, the idea of adding Jalen Brunson intrigues me. Because he's not the greatest player. He's not going to make them a contender. But he is really well equipped to help them in very specific areas that they struggled. He's extremely efficient from the rim, extremely efficient from mid-range areas, like I said, they were terrible in. And he's not the world's best passer, but he's competent. He's a solid passer, which is really what they need. They need somebody that can keep them above ground and not be a puddle of water bullshit offense.
Yeah, the Knicks have been looking for a point guard for years. And last year, Derrick Rose was the best offensive player that they had in terms of like consistency, helping the offense move. He's there. The fact that Derrick Rose is about to be in year 10 plus, and he was like the main source of creation for the Knicks is absolutely ridiculous. So I do agree with you, Isaac, in that like Brunson coming in is going to be great because now you can move Derrick Rose to the bench and you can use him in spurts, save his knees, because at the rate that Tibbs was playing him last year, those knees were going to give out again. So I think that Brunson and Rose, that backcourt would be good. The biggest thing for New York is how good is RJ Barrett going to get?
I was just gonna say that.
That's the biggest key because Julius Randle isn't here for long term. Depending on what happens with Brunson, like is he gonna stay here for 5-7 years? I don't know. But you just committed 4 years, $120 million to RJ Barrett. You need him to take another leap and to be like a star. So that's
what do you guys?
The key.
Do y'all think he can? Because there's a lot of polarization around RJ Barrett.
Yeah,
I think.
Go ahead.
Passionate. Okay. Listen. With RJ, do I think that RJ is ever going to be a top 10 player in the league? No.
Hell no. Of course not.
No.
That's not what we're talking about. That's not what we're talking about.
I know,
can he be a low level all-star? Can he be Brandon Ingram tier?
Yes, he can.
Okay. I find that hard to believe. So Knicks fans are very high on him, and I see why they see the potential in him, why they want something to grasp onto. I see what everybody else sees. He's a solid defender. 2 years ago, he was a good shooter. Last year, he wasn't. There's volatility in shooting from young players. It is what it is. I don't see a world in where he has the off-the-dribble creation with the handle he has. I don't see the world where he has the ability to score from all three levels on his own. So he's really going to be dependent on being an elite off-ball shooter. And if that's inconsistent, I don't know.
Yeah,
look,
exactly.
I understand that and I get that. I think the fact that he's not like a negative on defense, that helps a lot.
Yeah, he's a positive, I think, legitimately. Maybe it's a small positive, but he's definitely helps. Yeah,
exactly. One of the things that I really want to see from RJ, because he's taken like steps forward to where even whenever his shot isn't falling, if you go from his rookie year to now, just the form and the mechanics of his shot have gotten better. So like you see the improvement coming, and so you're just waiting for it to like translate to game. But I want him to. His rim scoring has really like just been the same since he's gotten into the league. It
was the worst in the NBA last year. The bottom two rim scorers in the NBA after you hit a certain volume, I think it was like 5 attempts per game.
Yeah.
RJ Barrett, James Harden. By far were the
crazy.
bottom two.
His rim scoring his rookie year was at 54%, and his sophomore year was 55%, and last year was 55%. If he wants to make that jump into, maybe even above a low level all-star, you're gonna have to finish at the rim, right?
Exactly.
You're 6'7", 6'8". You have to finish when you're right there.
Yeah.
And so that has to go up for him.
Yeah, to be a good to be a good scorer in general, the most vital part is being able to score at the rim, especially creating your own shot. It's the most efficient spot on the court, and the only way you can get away with that is if you're like elite of the elite shooter. Like I'm talking one of the best in the world, and that's not really in the cards for RJ.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Like you said, it's the most efficient shot in the world in the game of basketball, mainly because it's the easiest shot in the game of basketball as well. And like, if RJ Barrett is really that dude, 120 max, and what like a lot of people think he can be, then he should be able to, without a question, at least guarantee a play-in seed. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Yeah.
And like guys like a LaMelo Ball, guys like who else are young players? Anthony Edwards, people who are in that, you know what I'm saying, tier, even though RJ Barrett was drafted a couple years before those guys, like they're bringing their team to at least the play-in seed, bro. And for RJ Barrett, that's a huge question in the air. So that just tells me that like I am not that sold on him being the guy for New York. He's the guy to like, will cure you of all of your depression for the moment until you get like some other type of star. You know what I'm saying? He's like a drug, not a good one. He's just suppressing the pain. That's all.
He's a bad drug.
He's not.
RJ Barrett's methamphetamine.
He's not bad. Like,
he's some mid, bro. He's mid. That's what it is.
Okay,
that's funny.
He has potential. He has potential. Now I have to cap for RJ. He has potential. He's gonna be okay.
Smack on RJ meth.
That's what I'm saying. So like, but his growth is really the key for the Knicks this year.
Definitely.
That's kind of what they're hitching their wagon to for the next couple of years.
Yeah. Like, we can move on, but if we're going to talk about the best case scenario, that the most positive view you could possibly have of the Knicks, it's that RJ Barrett takes the next step people want him to take, and he's like sub all-star level next year. Jalen Brunson comes in, and he looks like the version he was last year when Luka wasn't playing, averaging 22 points per game, being a solid playmaker. Julius Randle is at least decent and not fucking god-awful like last year. Some way in between where he was the year before that. And Quentin Grimes is the guy that for some reason the Knicks front office thinks he is, and he's like this solid contributor. If all that shit happens, they're going to be a solid team. But there's a lot of question marks.
Can't be mad at that, bro. Can't be mad at that whatsoever.
Exactly.
But you can't question if that's going to be the case, because I'm not going to predict it.
Yeah, same.
All right, let's get to the playoff teams in the Atlantic division. Where do you guys want to start next? Do you want to like move up the rung in terms of like seeding?
Now let's pick one of the interesting ones. Let's talk about Boston, the reigning Eastern Conference champs.
Okay,
they're so interesting, bro.
So first, before we get in, we all know Boston's a great team. We all know last year they were a great team because their defense was so amazing. Mm-hmm. And the second half of the year, they had one of the most historic runs after a shitty start. The question I have for you, do you see them being at that same level and making it back to the finals?
No, I don't. I don't see them being at the same level. There's a couple reasons, and the first one is just pure skepticism in the fact that how long can we expect Al Horford to be like good?
That's a good point.
That's my main like question with Boston, is that you brought in Al Horford, revived his career. Is he going to look like he's 37, 38 years old next year? Or is he going to still, defy time and be exactly what they need, on that defensive front line? And starting off, I'm very curious to see how they look starting off, because Rob Will is hurt and he's going to be out.
Yeah, that just broke.
He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. So if Horford is going to have a lot of the defensive responsibilities on the back line, what does that look like coming out, especially if Horford is washed? So that's my main concern.
That is very true. But something that I don't understand, like, why are people not, like, maybe I'm just OD and I'm a Malcolm Brogdon stan, but he makes a difference for real, bro. He's a difference maker.
The problem is he's never on the court to make a difference.
Exactly. The last time, I'm looking at it right now, the last time he played like over 60 games was when I was like 19, 18 years old, bro. That was 2018, 2019. It's crazy. That was a long time ago. But
Yeah.
if he can get the health down or be healthy on a semi-consistent basis, or at least when it matters the most, that'll be a huge difference. Now, Malcolm Brogdon, healthy or not, Robert Williams is hella important to that defense, and he's one of the main driving forces. He's incredibly important. But if Rob is healthy, all the other dudes maintain some health, maintain a good level of healthiness. And if Al Horford doesn't fall off an absolute cliff, I think I can't name too many teams that I'd take over the Boston Celtics.
It can't be more than 2, maybe 3. Like, even in the worst case scenario, they're going to be a really good playoff team. Maybe if things break bad for them, and like you're saying, these players are maybe a little bit unreliable, go the negative way, they're still going to be a good team. They have a really high floor because their nucleus of Jason Tatum, Jaylen Brown, Marcus Smart, and then Robert Williams, such a high floor. The two-way play from those players alone just keeps you above water so well.
Yeah.
But the one thing I'll talk about...
Listen, I don't think anybody's doubting their core. They didn't lose the finals because 1 through 5. They lost the finals because they didn't have the depth of the Warriors.
Yeah.
And so I agree with Mo. Like Malcolm Brogdon makes a difference, but he has to be out on the court in order to do that.
Yeah.
And so we'll see. But also, that's a move that you make for playoff time. You don't bring Malcolm Brogdon, right? Like, you don't bring Malcolm Brogdon in to change your regular season standings.
Well, I don't know. I think that for the past few years, one of the biggest talking points around the Celtics before this year, especially, was that they need a point guard. That Marcus Smart isn't a true point guard. After losing Kemba and Kyrie, they need that lead guard there. And last year kind of shut that up a little bit because Marcus Smart was really good as a playmaker. Jason Tatum made strides as a playmaker, but they could use another playmaker. They weren't the most efficient half-court offense. What made them great was their defense, and Malcolm Brogdon being there as a sixth man could give them that which elevates them in the regular season to being, instead of being the 11th best offense in the NBA, they could be the 6th or 7th, which would make a meaningful difference.
Do you think, okay, so now you kind of have this point guard role with 3 guys where you have Smart, White, and Brogdon. How does that work, right? Are you going to be able to play 2 of them at a time?
Oh, for sure. Yeah, because all 3 of them are plus defenders. Brogdon's the worst defender of the bunch, and he's solid. With Marcus Smart and Derek White both being, they're combo guard sized and both well above average defenders, in Marcus Smart's case, defensive player of the year, they can easily play together, especially when you're playing with 2 big lineups with Horford and
Yeah, exactly. That's
Sorry,
exactly my point.
Yo, I feel so. I feel so sorry for people who are listening with earpods on right now, bro, or beats, bro. I feel so sorry. Goddamn, Isaac,
that's exactly
apologize.
my point.
Shit.
No, I muted myself. They didn't hear that. We're all good.
Oh, wow. All right. That was smart. My concern with those lineups is that when you got to the playoffs last year and when you had Smart and White out on the floor, Smart is a very streaky shooter. Like, when Smart's on, he's on, but when he's not, he's not. And Derek White, oftentimes, for his career, he hasn't been a great 3-point shooter. He had a couple games after his wife had the baby where he turned it up. But if your backcourt doesn't have the shooting like that, especially with those 2 lineups, and then you end up going with Brown at the 3, Tatum at the 4, and the 5, the defense is going to be there, yes, but I'm just a little bit worried about how much offense and how much shooting you can have in the half court if you play those kinds of lineups.
Yeah, well, that's not going to be a majority of their rotation. The starting lineup is going to be Smart, Brown, Tatum, Horford, Robert Williams. Those lineups that have so the thing is, with you're saying the White and Smart lineups are is the offense going to be there? That's the thing. Brogdon makes it so you don't have to play that very often. You could never do that meaningfully with the rotation. You could have those 2 on the court when the other one isn't. So Derek White is just a 20-minute per game player. That's the luxury that Malcolm Brogdon awards you, which is what makes their ceiling so much higher, I think, in terms of their offense in the regular season.
That's fair. Listen, as long as I think for the Celtics, best case scenario is that they're not relying on Peyton Pritchard to give them 15 a night in the finals. And
He's
I
a
think
bucket, though. That was a
is
pretty
he?
15 that he gives you.
Is he?
Yeah, most definitely, bro.
You're a liar.
That's funny.
You're
What kind of buckets are we talking? He's a mop bucket?
Listen, Peyton Pritchard can go to any pro-am in America, and he could ball there. But the finals was not his time.
He's Michael Jordan in the Seattle Pro-Am.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying.
I like the point, I forget which one you brought it up, the point that how much longer can we expect Al Horford to look as good as he did last year? Because what made them tick last year, made them so good, is the fact that they were able to make the change of. Let me backtrack. Originally, to start the season, they had Robert Williams is basically the 5, defending pick and rolls at the rim, and then Al Horford was the 4, guarding the man in the corner on a standard play. They were able to flip that and have Al Horford be the center, quote unquote, and defend pick and rolls, and Robert Williams moved to the guy in the corner that could be the help side rotation guy and block shots in the same way that Giannis plays. That's what really made them tick, and to do that, you need Al Horford to be really good. So if we're relying on an old man and an injury-prone big and Robert Williams, that can make the defense a little creaky.
Yeah, and you saw that. Listen, you saw that in the Miami series when Robert Williams was not when he wasn't there. Bam Adebayo was able to eat, and the Heat were able to get back in there, and even in the finals, towards the end of that series, you saw like Robert Williams was hurt, and he was not 100% himself. But even
he's never healthy, man.
Exactly.
Dude, why is he just now getting surgery? I was so perplexed by that.
Yeah, the thing, some people have been joking that it's the Scottie Pippen thing. If you remember what he did before the Last Dance season, he could have got surgery in the beginning of the season, but he said, I'm not finna fuck up my summer, and he got it at the end of the summer after he was partying. That way he did the rehab when the season started.
Oh my god.
No, we don't know if it's that, but it kind of looks like it.
But, like, yeah, just logically speaking, like, yo, after the finals, maybe he hurt himself again after, like, all the training that he's done. Maybe that actually makes sense. Maybe he hurt himself again, you know what I'm saying? He wasn't sitting around waiting just to fuck over his team because it just wouldn't make any sense. But it just
you probably not.
Yeah,
interesting.
Yeah. But we're nitpicking at the end of the day. Like, this is one of the best teams in the NBA. We're just trying to talk about what could go wrong, but they're probably going to be a top 3 seed contending for the finals again, if we're being honest.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Vibes, bro.
I agree with that.
It's a good time to be a Celtics fan, which lately there hasn't been a whole lot of that. It's been a lot of they're gonna be good potentially. Now's the team they're building for.
Yeah, exactly, bro. Agree with that.
Let's move on to one of the other middle of the pack teams and talk about Toronto, who I find very interesting. But let me hear what you guys think about them first.
Dude, whenever anyone talks about Toronto, first off, let me backtrack a little bit. Whenever anyone is like throwing out their 1 through 8 or 1 through 7 or 1 through 6 teams in the Eastern Conference, Toronto's is almost like never a part of that conversation. People just act like they don't exist simply because like no one cares about them anymore now that they had their championship phase. And Pascal Siakam is a player who almost every single time throughout any like conversation, he always gets underrated or overlooked just for some weird reason. And guys like Scotty Barnes is usually brought up as a good talking point, but a lot of people just feel like they're just like chilling and they're in a rebuilding phase, and in my mind that's like just not true. They're in a retooling phase as of now. Yeah. And they're just so interesting, and I definitely see them like being like a 6 seed. If Scotty Barnes is gonna be
6
who you guys think he is, then like
there's a lot of good teams
as high as 6 seed. They could be as high as 6 seed. Yeah. I give them that.
I think that's around the range, right? Six seed. I think it's very, very interesting that they didn't kind of go all in for Donovan Mitchell and get an offensive star like that in their
Dude, I think they need it too.
Exactly. I think that would have put them over the edge in terms of like being a legit contender and putting them in the conversation with Milwaukee, Boston, Brooklyn. But listen, they are. I think you already know what Toronto's going to be this entire season. They're going to they have length. They can defend. They are like the poster child for what people want like the NBA to be in terms of like positionless basketball.
Big wings,
bunch of 6'8" Africans, bro, everywhere. Messiah on a hunt.
Facts. Like that's.
He has a type.
Yeah, he has a type, and they stick to it. Everybody fits it except for Fred VanVleet, but they're going to be good. Nick Nurse is one of the best coaches in the NBA, so they're just going to be really, really solid. But until they get – and listen, Pascal was really good on offense last year, but until they get somebody like a Donovan Mitchell in there, I don't know if they're going to be able to take that next leap to like true contender status.
I think they're just the weirdest team in the fucking world. Like we're talking about with all the 6'9" guys – they don't have any bigs. They have one small guard and 65 wings. Yeah. And that weirdness isn't just like on paper. It plays out on the court too. Like they're not a good offense. Like last year they were 16th on offensive rating, mostly because they didn't have a lot of playmaking with Fred VanVleet being the only person that can really create a shot. So they ended up shooting the second most mid-range shots in the NBA. but they're not. The first team was the Suns, who just make them at a ridiculous level. These ain't the Suns, so they're middle of the pack offense. And they're 26th in rim volume and 22nd in 3-point volume. The two areas you want to shoot the most shots. They don't do either of them.
Exactly.
On paper, they should be a mediocre team.
Exactly. I think they pretty much are. I don't want to say that too harshly because they're not trash.
They're above average though.
They're a good team, But as you said, their roster is not really in that hard. They have no rim pressure, rim penetration whatsoever coming from anyone except for Fred VanVleet, like we just said. So until they go ahead and either make a trade for a star or someone like Donovan Mitchell, they weren't able to get him, but for someone of that tier, they're not gonna be on nothing. And they're either gonna do that or completely go into rebuild and shit their pants.
They can't though. They're too good to do that.
I think they're good in when I say rebuild, go ahead and ship off OG and
tear
Siakam.
it down.
Yeah, and tear it down.
Nah, they're not going to tear it down. They shouldn't tear it down.
They're in their late 20s. Fred VanVleet and Siakam as of now. So it's
but they're doing both though. They still have Scotty. They still have OG, who's young. Siakam's in his prime. He's 28. I think they're doing a good job of doing both. I don't think they need to tear it down per se.
Yeah, that is true. I think if they, as of now, it just feels like there's a direction. We all know what they want to do, but how soon is that going to happen? And none of us really know that. And if they do go ahead and decide to go ahead and pounce on a star, how much is that going to deplete their roster? And I don't know. There's just so much in the air, bro.
I think in their minds, they don't need to pounce on a star because all they have to do is wait a couple years for Scotty Barnes to be that star. That's kind of their North Star they're looking towards and seeing something that could take them to the next level.
Yeah, and I think that's a disconnect for me because I don't know if he can be that franchise player. I know he can be all-star for sure, guaranteed, but franchise, I don't know.
Well, what does franchise player mean to you then?
Franchise player means
it means getting buckets. You just want somebody who you can give the ball to and score 25 a night.
Franchise player in my mind. Look, I'm finna get in my goddamn bag right now. Franchise player in my mind is someone who you can lean on when all shit goes bad, bro. I said some, several videos before, whenever we're cartoon, think about when we were a little kid, you know what I'm saying? This doesn't happen for everyone, but in general, we all know this idea. When you're a little kid, you go ahead, when there's a storm going on, you know what I'm saying? Parents not home and shit, you scared as fuck. You go ahead and run to your bed, and you put that blanket over your head, close your eyes, and the next thing you know, oh my God, everything's okay. I need someone like that to run my franchise. Trae Young gives me that feeling. LaMelo Ball gives that feeling for the Charlotte Hornets. LeBron James does that. Curry does that.
Like daddy issues?
All shit goes bad. No.
You smell as a dad.
Yeah, you're violated right now. You was violated right now. I'm just saying.
This man wants a father figure.
That just goes, no, you violated right now, dog. That just goes to show, I just don't know how much I can trust Scotty Barnes on that level just yet. He has to prove a little bit more to me. That's it. That's literally it.
Yeah, but again, like we talked about earlier, it depends on what his shot creation looks like in the coming years, so I can understand that.
Listen, the Raptors, and they did a good job. And you talk about being able to pounce for a star. If the Nets weren't being unreasonable and asking for the whole damn team, right? If it was any other franchise, or if Rudy Gobert didn't get traded 2 weeks prior, they would probably have Kevin Durant right now, right? But Gobert gets traded, price goes insanely high, and the Nets are like, okay, well, we want your whole team and your entire draft for the next decade, and so that's the thing. Anybody else, any other star that comes out for the next 2-3 years that's going to be upset, I'm pretty sure they're not going to be as good as Kevin Durant, and so the price for them is going to be and so the price for them is going to be a little bit lower. So I think that Toronto's actually in a really good spot to go out and trade for another star if need be, and they have Masai Ujiri running everything, and he's one of the best executives and he knows what he's doing. So I'm going to trust him that if somebody does become available, that they'll be able. They're going to be at the top of the list, For sure. Yeah, I think it all comes down to they're an interesting team right now. They don't really have championship aspirations. Nobody has them in that tier, at least out of us three. But they're a fun team to watch because who knows what they could become in the future. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, definitely one of the more interesting teams for a variety of reasons. Yeah. All right, could we do Brooklyn? I want to end on Philly. Can we do Brooklyn right now? We can absolutely do Brooklyn now. Get in your bag. Go ahead. Tell me what you think about the Brooklyn Nets. Okay, listen, Brooklyn, and I'll probably get into my duffel more with the Sixers, but Brooklyn has the potential to be the best team in the East.
Okay.
Like, as a Knicks fan, I'm actively praying on their downfall. But like, if you just
naturally,
right, but if Kyrie is there the entire season, right, and he's not in and out of the lineup, right, in terms
big
of
if.
like. It's a big if, but it's a difference when it's like if Kyrie's hurt rather than, oh, Kyrie doesn't have a vaccine, so he's gonna play in all the road games, but he can't play at home. Like, that's just no way to do any type of continuity. If you have Kyrie, KD, and Ben Simmons, who doesn't even need to be like a star, right? He just needs to be the best role player in the league. If he fills that role, they have all the pieces to go out and win a championship.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
Exactly.
They like you said, it all comes down to the inconsistencies that we all know are there with Kyrie's health, Kyrie's mental personality, whatever you want to say. Ben Simmons' reliability, Kevin Durant's health now too. He's sneakily very injury prone. But if everything breaks right, there can be they might be the most unstoppable offense in the NBA with some defensive versatility with people like Ben Simmons. They could be incredibly terrifying.
Yeah, I think that the Nets are if everything breaks right, I think like out of the top 4 teams, right? If you were to say Boston, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, and we'll say Philly, right? Brooklyn has the highest ceiling, but I also think that they have the lowest floor because there can be a situation where Ben Simmons isn't right. Or Kyrie isn't right, and now you're rolling Kevin Durant out there with a whole bunch of role players, and they aren't able to.
Just like last year.
Yeah.
And Cam Thomas game.
And so now you end up in a situation where you're the Nets, and if Kyrie and Ben Simmons aren't there, you're back in the play-in. So again, high ceiling, but don't sleep on it. Their floor is also very low.
Oh, for sure. Mohammed, if you had to guess what their seeding is going to be with all this brought into account, what are you going to pick?
With all this brought into account, something that also needs to be put into account is that, like, this is contract year for Kyrie Irving, and he needs to go ahead and secure that bag. So he's going to play. He's not going to be on no bullshit. He's going to make sure that he can play as many games as he can so that he's reliable for a year or whatever, and then he could go do whatever he wants after that. But this year, I think it's not crazy at all to say that they're going to go berserk this regular season. I see them as a top 2 seed. I want to say comfortably
top
a 3 seed, but top 2 seed would not be surprising at all because I think everyone is just coming out for like blood after all that time Kyrie missed. We haven't seen Ben Simmons for a minute do anything but put on fly ass outfits and go out with baddies. You know what I'm saying? Once in a while, but I think this team as a whole is going out for blood. But at the same time, there's gonna be some disconnect because there's a whole lot going on with that team, and it's just so goddamn awkward. You know what I'm saying? Seeing Kevin Durant walk up to Steve Nash, you know what I'm saying, after he wanted him.
That's what we got to talk about.
Awkward. It's going to be real awkward. That and health are going to be the only 2 things holding them back. But if everything goes smoothly and they have that redemption year that I think they will have, then I definitely see them being a top 2 seed.
Yeah. I don't think they're going to be a top 2 seed. Not because I don't think they're good enough, because even if all the chemistry stuff is okay, Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving are not going to play more than 60 games because of their health. I think they're going to be good enough to weather the storm with one or maybe 2 of them out so that they can still win a good amount of games. But because of the health, I think they're probably going to be like the 4 seed. But come playoff time, they might be the scariest team in the East, assuming they're all healthy and ready to go. And I think that's going to be like the destiny of this team, is that they limp their way through the regular season, but come playoff time, you are not going to want to fucking see them in any capacity.
They are good. They're gonna be what the Clippers were supposed to be like 2 years ago, or like
what they will be this year.
Well, no, I actually think that the Clippers are more stable than Brooklyn.
For sure, yeah. Everybody's more stable than Brooklyn. Yeah.
Fair. And so but for Brooklyn, and it's crazy because even with the entire like Durant trade stuff, that completely just slipped my mind. Like I completely forgot that they had this entire standoff and that he doesn't.
And we gotta talk about that because that's not gonna just go away. Like we're foolish if we think that things are just gonna go on business as usual. He hates his coach and told the public, everybody knows, he wants his GM and coach fired. That's gonna rear his head in some capacity.
Something's gonna have to happen, right? Because the last time that I can feel like the last time that I think that something like this happened was in 2016 with LeBron and Blatt, and it was very, very clear that he didn't want Blatt there, and it took the Cavs getting destroyed on MLK Day to get Blatt out of there. Are they gonna have a moment like that? Right? That's honestly like what they need, a moment like that, or at least Durant does. Durant needs a moment like that so that he can get Nash out of there. But it's very, very clear. It's clear though.
Analysis.
Joe Tsai wants Steve Nash there. And if he wasn't going to trade him this offseason, I doubt that a move is going to be made in season.
Yeah, it's hard to believe he's going to fire Steve Nash, though, after it was the dick measuring contest between him and Kevin Durant, which he ended up winning, and Kevin Durant's back. Is he going to just fold now and fire the coach that he clearly made a hardline stance that I'm not going to let you bitch me into firing him? It's not going to happen. So at that point, is it going to be turmoil? Is Katie going to be an adult and just deal with it? I don't know.
There's a lot of turmoil, which has basically been from the moment they signed with the Nets. There's been turmoil in Brooklyn.
Yep.
So I guess it's on brand, and it makes sense for the Nets to be one of the messiest teams in the league.
All I know is I respect the fuck out of Joe Tsai for what he did this offseason. Normally, obviously, I'm very
100%.
pro player, do your thing, but him being like, no, I'm not going to trade you. I'm not going to fire him or fire him. Fuck you. It was hilarious.
I'm all for player
before the extension even kicked in, KD was asking for a trade, and Joe Tsai was like,
Joe Tsai's like, are you fucking nuts? Like, what are you talking about?
Yeah, bro. I'm all for player empowerment, but there just comes to a certain level where you just can't cross all these lines and run away from all the shit that went bad because of the decisions that you made, and I listened to you. You just can't backtrack. Like, that's not how it works, bro. You know, so I definitely, I 10,000% agree with everything else.
I definitely appreciate KD's right to request a trade, but I definitely love that Joe Tsai is like, fuck no, get back in your uniform. Like, it's just funny. In theory, I would hate that. But in this circumstance, like you said, it's kind of KD's grave. He dug it himself. It's hilarious, so I can't be mad at it.
Yeah. 100%. All right, last team that we got up. We got the Philadelphia 76ers.
Let's go. Okay, I'll be first. Yeah, this team is going to be fantastic. Joel Embiid is one of the best players in the NBA. We talked about it earlier.
I wasn't waiting for this part.
Facts. Just because I know Donovan's going to be feeling pretty differently than me, so I'm going to go ahead and get it out there. This is going to be, I think, the 1 seed in the East. Maybe not the best team in the East, but for the regular season, they're going to be the 1 seed. Joel's going to be an MVP frontrunner again. James Harden's going to look better than he did last year. Not like prime James Harden, but he's going to be solid. Tyrese Maxey's going to make a jump. PJ Tucker and Daniel House and Melton are going to give them the depth they needed on their bench to round out their regular season. They're going to be a threat. 1 seed.
Mo, go.
That boy said PJ Tucker and Daniel House. Yeah, I agree about that, bro. And also, you can't forget that boy who be moving pounds from city to city, Montrezl Harrell. Yeah, he's definitely a major. He's definitely a major.
X factor.
Word I'm looking. Yeah, X factor.
Difference maker.
A major pickup. Exactly. Difference maker for them as well, because whenever Joel is out, which he will be out because it's just a known fact is what he does, James Harden is not going to be left astray with absolutely nothing to do and no one to work with, and everyone else that he has on his team right now, he's ran with them before, and I think it's going to be a beautiful scene. I have them as my number 1 scene. I think Joel is going to go ahead and win that MVP, and James Harden is going to prove to you, Donovan, specifically that he is him.
Look at his face. He's ready to hate, ready to be a fucking hater for no reason.
All right, both of y'all are insanely wrong right now. There's no way this team. There's no way that this team gets the 1 seed. I don't think that.
Why?
I think first off, and I will say this: we haven't, and we'll talk about them later. I think that we haven't mentioned the Miami Heat in terms of like this like upper echelon in terms of like contender. In terms of regular season play, I think the Heat have a better chance of getting the number 1 seed than the Sixers.
Okay,
so
that's fair.
That's one. 2, James Harden has been declining for 2 years, and for everybody to come out and expect like James Harden is just going to reverse back to even 80% of what he was, I think that is false. His James Harden is just not there. Joel Embiid also misses games every single year, and while he probably will be an MVP runner-up because he's just that good, the fact of the matter is that he's not going to be on the court. Harden, who also his durability is starting to go down a little bit. I think that Tyrese Maxey, he's probably going to make a jump as well, and he might be able to weather the storm. But when your two stars are not going to be healthy for a majority, I won't say a majority.
I mean, come on, Joel's been healthy lately. He just broke his face last year, but like other than that, he's kind of gotten over the injury woes.
And still
played a career high 68 games last season.
He finds a way. But my biggest thing is that James Harden, when we last saw him, looked like an absolute shell of himself. And while like that is absolutely like rock bottom, right? And I'm not saying that he's gonna come out and look the way he did in Game 6 all year long. He's clearly gonna be better. The ceiling on James Harden, I feel like for the second half of last, from the moment he got traded to the Sixers, the question was, is James Harden going to be able to be the guy that we saw at the beginning of his stint with Brooklyn? And he's not going to be able to get back to that. So I think that the ceiling for this team is much lower.
Here's the thing. Maybe you're right. Maybe James Harden is what he was last year. If he was what he was last year, that's okay. He wasn't the James Harden of old. He was still a very good player. He was still a player that was probably better than what we got from Ben Simmons, right?
Definitely.
Okay, maybe.
So if that's the case, even watch James Harden last year, James Harden and Embiid were the most efficient pick and roll in the NBA. If you just get more of that and more reps under the belt with a better supporting cast, that's a pretty fucking good foundation. That's still a contender right there. If they get prime James Harden, they're unbeatable. But if they don't and they get washed James Harden, that's still a nucleus and it's still a top-tier playmaker to help you build out around Joel Embiid and put you in a position where he can take you to a victory.
Yeah.
James Harden's 3-point numbers have gone down each of the last 3 years in terms of his overall in his effective field goal percentage. That has dropped in each of the last 2 years. Offensively, when we talk about like creating shots for himself, James Harden just isn't as good as he used to be for himself.
For sure,
he can still facilitate for a lot of people and be kind of like off ball. But if you guys think that Tyrese Maxey is going to take like a huge leap to take over the secondary scoring role behind Joel Embiid, then okay. I don't think Maxey's going to get there this year.
Sure, but he's have to.
All-star level.
Yeah. But
like
you have Joel Embiid.
I don't think Tyrese Maxey is going to be the second best scorer on a championship team this year.
You're comparing James Harden. You're saying his effective field goal percentage dropped and everything. He can't be what he used to be. You're right. But he doesn't have to be because back then he didn't have someone like Joel Embiid that could be that go-to scorer. We have different expectations now because different things are needed of him. The scoring now is less important. Him being the best facilitator in the world is what's more important now, and he can still do that. We saw last year.
We will see. I'm not told. I think that it's very hard. I also think that like give me examples of people, and I know that this is like very rough off the top of your head, but people who like are clearly washed and are able to come back in and rejuvenate.
Chris Paul
didn't even finish the question. Yeah. So perfect example. I'm glad you said that. Chris Paul with his last year at the Rockets looked like shit. We were calling him the worst contract in the NBA. Why? He was dealing with the same exact hamstring injury that James Harden has been dealing with the last year and a half. He came back a year and a half later, finally got healthy with a healthy offseason, and look at him. Spry as fuck. We don't know what's going to happen with Harden, but there's clearly the possibility, clearly the precedent. I'm not going to write him off.
Yeah, exactly.
But that's my point. Is that is Chris Paul the precedent now, or is he just an outlier because he's Chris Paul and he's one of the greatest point guards of all time? He's one of the smartest.
So is James Harden
of all time. And
so is James Harden. He's both of those things.
But is that outside of Chris Paul, who else is there? Because if the only person that you can name is Chris Paul, then he's the outlier at this point. Then he's not the precedent.
Well, I mean, I don't know. They both happen to be in the same circumstance. It's hard to think of other people that were dealing with that injury, that stage of their career. So I see what you're saying, but we'll have to see. At the end of the day, we'll see. Like, I see exactly what you mean. You might be right, you might be wrong. Time will tell.
Yeah, I'm just not high on James Harden. I think especially in the playoffs, I think the playoff ceiling for this team is probably a second round exit, the way that they have continued to be, and that's probably where they're going to be at.
Mohammed, what probability do you give the 76ers of winning the championship this year? Percentage probability.
Winning a championship is tough, bro.
Yeah.
Winning a championship is so tough. I still would have personally the Celtics, and I want to say that I'd have the Nets Would I have the Nets over them? I don't know. Actually, I take that back. I do not have the Nets over them.
You know what? Let me pause you real quick. This gives us a really good opportunity to make a really good TikTok out of this. I'm going to list some teams, and you let me know if they're more or less likely to win a championship than the 76ers. We're going team by team.
Let's go.
The Bucks. The Bucks.
More likely.
Yeah, easy one. Cool. The Nets.
See, that's what I was just stuck on.
Okay. More likely.
I'm gonna say less.
More likely. I would say more likely.
Why are you saying more?
I think that because I think that overall they have more talent than Philadelphia does. And even though that Doc Rivers is not a great coach, I would take Doc Rivers over Steve Nash. And so in a vacuum, I would say the Nets.
Okay. I probably agreed the Nets have a little bit of a higher ceiling in the playoffs with their talent, but I think that one's close.
Yeah.
The Cavaliers.
Less.
Yeah, way less.
You think the 76ers have a better chance to win than the Cavaliers?
Yeah, Sixers definitely do because they're more seasoned. All the pieces are put in place, and the vision is clear as hell. Harden's health, yeah, like more definitely.
They would have the best player on the floor in a playoff series. Yeah. I think that matters a lot. I don't think that it's like far and away the Sixers, but I would say that Philly has slightly of a better chance.
I think if those two teams play each other, the Sixers would win. But I'm more confident in the Cavs to beat a lot of the other contenders than I am the Sixers.
Yeah. That makes sense.
What about the Celtics?
Less likely.
Definitely less likely. Celtics.
No, you're saying. No, you're saying
it is less likely that the Philadelphia 76ers win a championship than the Boston Celtics.
The question was which of these teams more or less likely. So you mean more likely?
Yes.
Oh, more likely.
Than more likely.
Gotcha. I just want to include that one in the video.
Okay.
What other contenders? Right. Anybody else we should rattle off? Who else is in this range?
Look. So if you look on
the Miami Heat.
If you look on FanDuel right now, I would say that the Heat are less likely to win.
Okay, I agree. I'm definitely picking. Right? Yeah, you did. I agree. The 76ers have a better chance than the Heat.
Yeah. So if you look on FanDuel right now, the Sixers are plus 1,700 to win the championship. That puts them 7th, and the teams above them are Boston, Milwaukee. This is in order: Boston, Milwaukee, Brooklyn, the Clippers, the Warriors, and the Suns. And those are the 6 teams ahead of the Sixers. Okay. I think that's very fair.
Sure. Yeah, I'm cool with that.
I think that's fair.
The 7th best team in the NBA. That's fair. Again, this is a team that's going to have the most. This might be the team besides the Nets that are going to have the most variability going into next year. The first month of the season is going to tell us a lot about the 76ers.
Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Cool. I think that's pretty much all we got to say about this team.
All right.
I think it was a good discussion. We clearly
I got my takes off. I'm good.
It's gonna be fun to follow this team. It's gonna be fun to follow this team, given how different we view them.
Yeah.
That's funny. Well, now we're done with the division preview. Before we wrap up the show, we're gonna do some more TikTok segments. First off, last week you guys really loved when we did this young player draft. So we're gonna do another draft, but this time we're gonna draft all-time teams. Any player in NBA history is on the table. We're gonna one-on-one and draft the best starting fives possible.
Letting y'all know off rip, I'm gonna lose. I already know I'm gonna lose.
Listen, the comment section said I washed y'all last time, so we'll see what happens this time.
Let's go in reverse order of last time. So I had the first pick last time. So let's go Isaac, Mo, and then I will go.
Damn, I'm still in the middle. Fuck. Okay.
You got it next time.
Yeah. Next time you'll be first, and I'll be in the middle.
Bet.
Gotcha. All right, time for the TikTok hook. Let's draft. Let's draft the best starting fives possible all time. First pick, obviously I'm going LeBron James.
All right, that's fine.
Classic.
I knew you was going to do that.
How could I not? Come on.
Okay. Cool. Second pick, I just got to pick Michael Jordan. Let's do it.
Naturally.
That's fine. I'm at 3. Give me Steph Curry and Shaquille O'Neal.
Oof. That's exactly what I would have did if I was in third. I was thinking about this.
I'm right there. I'm right there.
Exact combo I would have picked.
Come on now.
All right, Mo, your turn.
What
you thinking?
I'm gonna go ahead and you know who I need on my team? Give me Tim Duncan.
Oh, Tim Duncan. Who's your first pick? Oh, you got Michael Jordan, Tim Duncan.
Tim Duncan.
That's nice.
Listen. In 1995, you got it. You got it.
Let's go. Let's run it. I'm out for blood.
I got LeBron James. I got the creator. Do I want to go with a big man who can give me secondary offense and Kareem? Do I want to go with another wing like Larry Bird that can stretch the floor? Do I want to go Kevin Durant? You know what? He's not the best player available, but I'm gonna pick Kevin Durant just for the fit with LeBron.
Wow.
Give me these two big wings to build around.
Okay,
Wow.
who's next?
Oh, I got the next pick too, don't I?
Yeah, you got the
Damn
snake.
it.
Oh, let's go. This is tough because I can pick somebody like Kobe Bryant and get even more shot making there, which would be fucking ridiculous to have that many killers. But I think I'm gonna round out my team in a smarter way. Give me Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Wow.
All right, that's nice. Listen, he's arguably the GOAT too.
Okay.
We're
Yeah.
in that tier 1.
I got to pick the best player available at this point.
Cool.
Yeah.
I respect it. All right. So is it my turn?
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, cool. So I got MJ and I also have Tim Duncan. So I'm going to need some shooting and I'm just going to go ahead and say it. Give me go. I need Larry Bird. Let's go. Let's run it.
It's a good
I
pick.
need that. I need it.
Your team's
I need
nasty
it.
right now.
Yeah, I need
Okay.
it.
All right. So I got Steph at the 1. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna take Kobe Bryant to put at the 2. Right?
I was scared to let him fall to you.
I'm gonna have Steph and Kobe, and then we have the 3 and 4 left to go with Shaq. I'm just gonna go with the Twin Towers here. Give me Hakeem Olajuwon.
Damn.
That's nasty. I mean, Hakeem's great, but that's a terrible fit.
We're gonna go Hakeem Shaq.
I think you folded.
That's how we're rolling.
Yeah, it's nasty. That's nasty.
Nah, we're gonna be okay.
You're playing bully ball.
Exactly. Go, Mo.
Okay.
All right, so I got MJ, Larry Bird, and I got Tim Duncan. So as of now, I need a guard, and I can't pick no other better guard than the best guard in NBA history. And I need me some Magic Johnson, bro. I need Magic Johnson.
Damn.
This is disgusting.
I was thinking about picking Magic Johnson to have
This
length.
is disgusting.
Yeah, your team's looking fucking sick right now. I'm kind of jealous.
Yeah.
So I got my forwards and my bigs. I need 2 guards. Ideally, somebody who can exist off ball. And I'm kind of drawing a blank right now on shooting guards.
Mm-hmm.
Who should I pick to be my 2? This is a tough pick for me with the fit I got going on. I might have picked Larry Bird if he fell to me, but he didn't.
That's what I wanted. I wanted Larry to fall. I wanted Kobe and Larry.
You know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go with unconventional picks. These aren't the best players by any means, but I'm gonna go Chris Paul and Kawhi Leonard.
Wow.
Purely off of fit. Kawhi's gonna be my 2 guard. I'm gonna have a gigantic lineup. He doesn't need the ball in his hands. Chris Paul doesn't necessarily need the ball in his hands, and I have a great player. I have a good amount of playmakers and off-ball shooters.
Okay.
Okay. All right. I have two choices in mind. I have no idea where to go though. It's not even my pick. So
No,
I
it's
get
Mohammed's
I
turn.
get to wait. I know.
It's my turn.
Yeah.
I be doing the most, but I don't give a fuck.
Uh-oh.
I need some of these right here. I need me some of these right here. I need
Oh,
Giannis.
I forgot about
need
Giannis, bro. I
need
totally
Giannis.
forgot about Giannis.
I need Giannis. I'm sorry. He's in there, bro. He's in that conversation, or at least he will be soon. Give me Giannis. So I got Larry.
I picked
Wait,
Chris
no,
Paul when Giannis was on the board. Oh.
Yeah, bro. I got Magic, MJ, Larry. Then I got Giannis, and then I got Tim Duncan. Oh my goodness, no one can tell me none, bro. My team is disgusting.
Okay.
Y'all are
I
done.
folded with the Chris Paul pick.
I have a 3, and I have Steph and I have Kobe. I have them in the backcourt. I have Hakeem and Shaq, bully ball up top. I don't know if I should go straight bucket because listen,
Desmond
I already
Bain?
know.
Yeah.
No, I already know. I already know that if I go with the straight buckets pick, I'm probably gonna get laughed at.
Okay. Remember to pick Allen Iverson? I'm gonna cry.
No,
Okay.
but I think. Okay, here's what I'm doing. I'm gonna go straight buckets. Give me Tracy McGrady at the 3. I'm gonna go Tracy McGrady, and we'll go Steph, Kobe, McGrady, Hakeem, and Shaq. That's where I'll go.
Okay, so
That
let's list our
lost.
full teams now. So I got Chris Paul, Kawhi Leonard, LeBron James, Kevin Durant, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar.
Team is
I mean, this team
disgusting.
fits on paper. This team fits on paper real well.
Your team is disgusting, bro. I think in terms of just pure greatness, fits on paper as well. I got Magic Johnson. I got Magic Johnson, Michael Jordan, Larry Bird, Giannis, and also Tim Duncan. This team is disgusting, bro.
That seems absurd.
So
Jesus Christ.
versatile. So versatile, so long, so big. What? Oh, pause. Sure, I wasn't on purpose, but bro, my team is going hard.
Pause.
He can't help himself.
Nah, that one was forced. Name your team, Donovan.
And then I got, so I have Steph Curry, Kobe Bryant, Tracy McGrady, Hakeem Olajuwon, and Shaq.
I'm not going to lie.
Shit's on your team.
2 weeks in a row, you managed to draft the worst team of the bunch.
All right, stop that.
Yeah, this is the worst.
I did not have the worst team last week. I did not have the worst team.
You absolutely
I don't know.
Bro,
the comment section disagrees.
Dude, you picked Desmond Bain.
I sent y'all the screenshot.
And Jaren Jackson over.
What?
You picked Desmond Bain and you had Jaren Jackson Jr. on your team?
I think so, yeah.
Over John Morant.
You picked several people over John, but we all skipped over John. Don't do that.
But your bugger was way worse though, because he was on the team.
Do that.
And like you saw him on, you had the team in your mind, and you just purposely skipped him. You said
you got him. You skipped him too. Stop it. Okay, no. Because we all skipped over John like 3 times, and then I'm just the one that's like, oh, you skipped over John. That's like when somebody's like, oh, the Knicks skipped over D Mitch, and it's like, so did 12 other teams, right? Everybody skipped on him.
No, but that's different
Everybody
though,
passed over
that's
him.
different though because the Knicks did not go ahead and select anyone who played for Louisville. You know what I'm saying? If they were pick some random, then okay, that's like they deserve that treatment. But it's different. It's different. Bro.
You're not gonna put Skip and Ja just on me. That was a group thing. We all collectively we did that. As a collective L.
That's
funny. Okay, well, we'll let the comment section decide who has the best team this time, but I'm willing to bet there's not gonna be a lot of Donovans in those comments.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I thank God you're not a GM, bro. Jesus Christ.
I have Shaq and Steph Curry. Like we're
the only thing that fucked me up is that you pick Hakeem. Like, sure, if we were playing in 70s, but like with the fit, like you could have done anything. You could have picked somebody else there.
I mean, listen, do I like regret not taking Giannis? Maybe, but like it's okay. Like I'm not mad. I'm not mad. I completely forgot that the Giannis was on the board.
Me too.
And what I need a draft board, like a fantasy football draft.
That's right.
We just need the players' names on there by position.
Yeah.
And I promise you, if we do that, I'm a visual learner, right? So if we have that,
John Morant's name was in the
board,
text messages, bro. You didn't see that, and that was there. That was visual enough.
No, we didn't put the names. Because it was an all-time draft.
Yeah. I regret picking Chris Paul. I should have picked like somebody big that to be like another guard there, and LeBron could play point guard. I should have picked like. I don't know, Dwayne Wade. I should pick Luka Doncic. Like I could have just had like the most gigantic long lineup possible.
Yeah, I have zero regrets, bro. I think we can all agree my shit is no one can say nothing about my team, bro. It's just undisputed.
You're gonna be real mad. And you're gonna be pissed when the comment section all says I won again. You're gonna be heated.
Hell. No.
I'm sorry. I'm good at drafting teams. What can I say?
I'll be convinced you guys don't know ball if you pick Isaac over me. Period.
Okay. Let's move on to the next topic. All right, now we're going to do start one, bench one, cut one. First one.
All right.
Brandon Ingram, Jaylen Brown, DeJounte Murray.
Okay, I'm starting Brandon Ingram, I'm benching Jaylen Brown, and I'm cutting DeJounte Murray.
Yeah, bro. This pains me to say.
This
pains me to say.
What's up, go.
But I'm starting Brandon Ingram, I am benching Jaylen Brown, and I'm cutting DeJounte Murray. DeJounte's kind of in a separate. He's in a couple tiers below these guys, or a tier or two below these guys.
For a long time, I've been on Brandon Ingram's better than Jaylen Brown, but I think I'm going to start Jaylen Brown, bench Brandon Ingram, cut DeJounte Murray. I think with the developments Jaylen Brown's made to his handle and his driving ability, mixed with his defense, that's flawed, but still better than Ingram's. I'd rather have him in my starting lineup.
Can't be mad at
it. And that's fair.
I'm also just fucking trying to be different.
Yeah.
Okay, next one. Darius Garland, LaMelo Ball, and Drew Holiday.
I am going to start. Okay, this one's actually tough. I think
tough.
Like in a vacuum, I think I would start Garland and bench Drew Holiday. But I think if I have like a championship team that's like a win now type of thing, like the Bucks had, I would start Drew, then bench Garland. Oof. And LaMelo's getting cut.
Yeah, I'm easily
either
starting Garland, benching Drew, cutting LaMelo. It's clear cut for me.
Wow, man. am I alone? I'm the lone soldier right here, bro. I'm the only believer in LaMelo Ball in this bitch. That's so crazy because I'm starting Garland definitely. Like that should just be the standard for everyone.
You're cutting Drew?
Yeah, I'm cutting Drew, bro. Like I'm definitely.
You think today, right now, LaMelo Ball's better than Drew Holiday?
Yeah, that's not crazy to say. That's not.
That's absurd to say.
Like I'm nuts. I'm not nuts, man.
You're a madman.
I respect Drew
I'm
so
very
much.
right now.
You shouldn't be.
Not
confused.
enough.
I think you're underrating the type of season LaMelo Ball had last season. I think that's what it is. You both.
The biggest. I already told you before that man LaMelo.
You can't call him the biggest choker, bro.
Low key, one of the biggest chokers in the league.
He's 20, man.
Key.
Who cares?
I'm not even saying all that, but Drew Holiday is Drew Holiday. He's arguably the best point guard defender in the NBA, which I would say.
Yes.
And given the efficient, he was ridiculously efficient last year. Most people sleep on that. He had the most efficient year of his career. He was a 40% 3-point shooter. He's clearly better than LaMelo Ball at this moment. In the future, that won't be the case. But right now,
be killing me, bro. The inconsistencies offensively be killing me, bro, in some of the biggest moments and things of that nature. And because of LaMelo Ball's, of course, vision,
LaMelo Ball has that. What are we talking about?
Oh my god, bro! The vision is what separates him from me, bro. The vision. It's the vision. It's the vision.
The defense
you don't have the
separates
vision
from
clearly
me.
enough. It's the defense. I can respect that, bro. You guys just don't have the vision. It's okay though.
Oh my god,
that's funny. Okay, last one. Damian Lillard, Jason Tatum, Paul George. This is the hardest one.
Okay, so we are going to start Damian Lillard.
Okay.
We're going to start Dame. We're going to bench Paul. We're going to bench Paul George.
And
we're
cutting
going
Tatum?
to cut Jason Tatum.
Wow.
We're going to cut Tatum.
I'm also going to start Lillard.
I think that Paul George is that much of a better playmaker than Tatum is.
I don't know if that's the case anymore.
Not by a lot, but I think that Paul George is a little bit better of a playmaker. I think Paul George can play off ball better than Tatum can, and I think that versatility is what puts him over the top.
Okay, I'm gonna start Damian Lillard as well. We're in agreement there. This bench and cut one between the two forwards is tough. I'm gonna bench Jason Tatum mostly because what we saw last year, his defensive versatility now is so high, and Paul George is a little bit older. He's not the defender he once was. He's still good, but Tatum's on that level on that end right now, and I think their offensive skills are comparable.
Yeah, literally copy and paste. I'm starting. Holy shit, my mind just went blank for a second. Anyways, I'm
starting Dame.
Yeah, I'm starting Damian Lillard, and then I'm benching Jason Tatum, and I'm putting PG-13 all up on the bench, bro. Sad to say, hurts, but I just think that Tatum is like that now. Like you said earlier, the playmaking. Like I don't think it's that absurd of a difference to put Jason Tatum or to cut Jason Tatum and put him over Pete. I just don't see it, bro. I just don't see it.
Yeah. Okay. Let's do one more I just thought of. Trae Young, John Morant, Zion Williamson.
We're going to start Trae Young.
Okay.
We're going to bench John Morant, and we're going to cut Zion.
Oof. Cutting Zion is tough.
Yeah.
You're going to cut 27 points per game on 65% shooting percentage?
He need to cut them calories.
Oh my god.
Come on.
He said Zion needs to get on keto.
Yeah.
Exactly. That's the only reason. Just because he's fat, he can't move like that.
I'm going to start Trae Young as well. I think I want to bench Zion over Ja. Ja was better last year, obviously, because Zion was hurt. But I'm still a believer that when they're both healthy, Zion's going to be the better player.
Look, I
kind of agree with that, though.
Look,
it's tough, though, because he hasn't been healthy.
I damn near sold my soul to Trae Young, and surprisingly enough, I'm going to have to bench him and start Zion Williamson because I just think that Zion, yeah, bro. At the end of the season right now, I may look crazy, but at the end of the season, I'm not going to look crazy because I think Zion is going to have that type of an MVP type season for me personally.
Okay. I respect it.
It has nothing to do with Trae Young at all. I think he's going to be great. It's just that, I just think that this dude is just simply better, and there's nothing physically that you can do about it, period.
This is true.
Listen.
Y'all got to kick the curb, though.
Look, for the sake of my fantasy basketball team, I hope you're right on Zion. I hope he has an MVP type season. I hope we're seeing the same thing.
That's funny.
But
that's all the topics I had.
Is that all of them?
Yeah, we're gonna do player matchups, but I forgot to think of some, so I don't have anything else. If you guys have any more topics you want to get before we get out of here, maybe we could use one or two more. But I think I'm
This
good.
is a perfect opportunity to ask y'all, the viewers watching this right now, to go ahead and drop us some topics that you possibly want featured in this video.
For sure.
So
Again, like always, leave your hot takes every week. We're going to give 6 of you a chance to be on the show, and we're going to respond to your topics. So drop those hot takes as always.
Yeah, exactly. Let us slay you for a couple seconds. It'll be fun, bro. Don't be
Facts. Maybe we'll say you're genius. Maybe we'll say you're fucking moronic. I don't know, but that's what you're willing to risk. Luck of the draw. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. Well, look, I think that's it. I think we're all good for today. Again, if you haven't already, go down below, like and subscribe. Make sure we get that follower count up. And
for sure.
Listen, until next time, we'll see you guys next time.
TD
we're out of here.
In episode 3, we are out.
Let's go.
Peace.
See ya.